Department of Justice. Let me tell you the time. 8:31 p.m., September 26, 2025. Department of Justice. Hagsworth and the African American male chief of staff under Biden. Let me tell you what's going to happen to your Department of Justice. That you're going to be bombed. All right, let me tell you what's going to happen to Kavanaugh. He's going to die in fire, which was on my account since England. Kavanaugh, you die in fire. Wonder how. Department of Justice. Let me tell you what happens to your FBI building. It gets bombed 3 times. Not once, not twice, but 3 rockets crash into that building. Department of Justice. Let me tell you what happens to the building across the street, which you had the Mexican drug cartel, Venezuelan and Colombia drug cartels finance and build with the triad money. Let me tell you what happens to that building. 5 different rockets crash into that building. I'm right across the street from it, and I'm ready, Department of Justice. The top 2 floors implode. The building's basically about ready to crash down and completely go down like the World Trade Center towers. Department of Justice. Because of why? Because you claimed this terrorist cell, Department of Justice. You claimed it for your pretty little selves. Department of Justice should never have claimed S Street Chemical Weapons Compound and should never have claimed 1509 S Street Northwest for themselves. You should never have ever have done that, Department of Justice. Let me continue to tell you what happens to the White House. The White House is in flames, burning flames and embers. Catch that from your satellites, Department of Justice. Let me tell you what happens to the Pentagon. Seen from space, ball of fire. Let me tell you what happens to your chief of staff under Joe Biden. Let me tell you, he's hung and captured and hung in prison in front of the military men and women that he traded for foreign countries and became a traitor and a treason, whatever the charges. My ears are plugged. One ear is plugged, Department of Justice. Let me tell you what you get for holding a civilian woman hostage and poisoning her and then claiming the terrorist cell where they chop up bodies as yourself. Department of Justice, you are bombed with multiple rockets, ballistic weapons. You're being bombed, Department of Justice. The Capitol building, bombed, balls of fire. Let me tell you what happens to Joe Biden. Same as Kavanaugh. Dies of fire. Biden, you and your wife don't survive it. And how's the fire? Well, add it up. The rest of the city's being bombed. New York City, shed a tear. Anybody who loved that city like me, shed a tear. But don't cry. Don't cry those alligator tears like when the World Trade Centers was attacked by Saudi Arabian terrorists. Don't cry one tear. Every single human being in that metropolis deserved what they got. Say goodbye to Staten Island. Say goodbye to your 5 boroughs and say, holy crap, that was some serious, technologically advanced weaponry. It took out the 5 boroughs in 5 New York minutes. Department of Justice, you are being bombed by the U.S. military, by the Russian military, by the IDF, by the Chinese military, by the North Korean military, by the Britain military, by the German military, by so many militaries that you declared war on. Department of Justice, you better start taking notes because you are being bombed.